Vladimir Nikolaevich Nikolaev is a Russian serial maniac and cannibal. Born on March 16, 1959 in the USSR in the city of Novochebokсарsk. About the early childhood of the maniac is not known a lot. Vladimir was born in the family of Nikolai and Nadezhda Nikolaevs. Parents separated when Vladimir was just born. The mother drank, did not follow her son. Little Nikolaev behaved badly at school, constantly fighting. The neighbors were literally afraid of 16-year-old Vladimir. It is known that the future maniac had a wife and daughter, but they left him after he repeatedly raised his hand against them. According to him, this was the beginning of his alcoholism. The first arrest was not long in coming. In 1980, Nikolaev was detained for theft and robbery. After serving 2 years, he went out for exemplary behavior, but just a couple of months later he received a new term. After serving it, Vladimir did not want to embark on the path of correction and was arrested for the third time. Once. All his fights and robberies were accompanied by alcohol. The future maniac could not live without booze, and it was necessary to take money for it somewhere. Friends have formed an opinion about Nikolaev as an unsociable, reclusive alcoholic and rowdy. He was not free for long, 2 or 3 months, the last time 7 months. In these 7 months of freedom in 1997, Nikolaev began to deprive of life. The first massacre, as Nikolaev later said, happened by accident. During a drunken quarrel, he inflicted severe injuries to a drinking companion with a punch, who died on the spot.
Hey, I'm not going to beat around the bush. You have to subscribe to the channel and like it so you don't miss new videos.
After this, Nikolaev, not knowing that the drinking companion died, took the body to his home, where he tried to bring his friend to his senses with several blows to the cheeks and cold water from the shower. Realizing that the acquaintance would not come to life, he began to carve him up to get rid of the body, and then decided, taste the meat. Taking a small piece, he boiled it and tasted it. He did not like it, and he already decided to fry the next piece, after which he finished it. He also claimed that he had tried meat with potatoes. I treated my friend to some of the meat, but I forgot to tell him whose meat it was. His. A friend brought the meat home, where his wife cooked dumplings, which, according to Nikolaev, she ate herself and fed the children. Nikolaev exchanged some more meat for alcohol. He also mentioned the case when he sold meat to an unknown man under the guise of venison. The man was not confused by this, since Vladimir told everyone that he was a hunter. Only now it turned out that he started hunting people. The first drinking companion was enough for him for 2 weeks. Nikolaev made the second attack already consciously. I found myself a new drinking companion, Nikolai Vasiliev, who had a wife and 2 children. They did not immediately start looking for a man. They thought he had gone on a spree. The maniac took his life with the help of a knife, after which he also cut up the body and began to eat it. He decided to sell the other parts on the market, which he did unfortunately successfully. Soon Vladimir was exposed, his friend and his wife from. The resulting saiga tenderloin, as Nikolaev called it, was also cooked dumplings, which were treated to neighbors at the entrance. The taste of the dumplings seemed suspicious to those, and they showed the strange product to the doctor. The simplest analysis showed that the minced meat contains traces of human blood. Soon Nikolaev was arrested on suspicion of cannibalism and deprivation of life. He quickly confessed to the crimes, as traces of blood were found in his apartment, human meat in the refrigerator and canned food on the balcony. The whole city was shocked after the news of the cannibal's arrest. People buying meat at the market were furious. How could this happen? Because they fed this meat to their children. The indignation of the locals was understandable, because it is unknown how many Nikolaev actually managed to take the life of a person and how many people in the market he managed to sell human meat. The trial of Vladimir passed very quickly. The examinations confirmed the human meat in the maniac's apartment, so there was enough evidence to take the case to court. The whole city came to the courthouse to see the real ogre. Law enforcement officers had to strengthen the protection of the accused, as residents wanted to hold a trial over him themselves. At the trial, Nikolaev said that he did not regret anything. He talks about his crimes quite calmly, as if he does not understand how terrible what he did. The Supreme Court of the Chuvash Republic in Cheboksary sentenced Vladimir Nikolaev, for 2 lives taken by him, to death. I want to mention that at that time, as well as now, we did not have an article for cannibalism as such, so no one began to prove the fact of eating. Soon the moratorium on the death penalty came into force, and later, in 1999, the execution was replaced with life imprisonment, which pleased Nikolaev, who decided after 25 years. Submit a petition for clemency. What? I won't serve 25 years. The criminal is serving his sentence in the correctional colony, Black Dolphin. Earlier, Nikolaev was often interviewed in the colony, however, due to the fact that the maniac agreed to speak only for rewards in the form of cigarettes and confectionery, cookies and sweets, eventually stopped, because as it is, journalists bring him treats, although he did not deserve it at all. A warning inscription hangs on the prisoner's cell. Prone to escape. The Ogre. A chronic alcoholic. Rude, unbalanced. Nikolaev behaves calmly. In the cell, it has 2 doors. You can only pass food by stretching out your hand, both to the sender and the receiver. This should be done so that the criminal does not cling to the hand with his teeth. When Vladimir first got behind bars, he refused to eat ordinary food and demanded human meat. There was a case when a maniac turned to the warden, "Bring me something from what was taken from my apartment, I'm talking about meat." And Alexander Maslin is sitting in the next cell from Nikolaev. He ate his cellmate because he thought he wanted to eat him. The body was butchered and cooked in the sink. In the Black Dolphin, a cannibal has a special attitude. He is the only prisoner in the colony who does not have a cellmate. The administration does not dare to move anyone to Nikolaev, because no one can vouch for the consequences. In an interview, when Nikolaev was asked how people didn't notice that it was human meat, he said, "You just can't tell by taste. It only gives off a little sweetness, but in general it is difficult to notice." In 2006, in an interview, Nikolaev said that every life prisoner should have a choice, to serve a life sentence or choose the death penalty. As of 2022, he is alive and continues to serve his sentence in the Black Dolphin. Now he is 63 years old and he hopes to apply for clemency soon, which I am sure he will be denied. They didn't make documentaries about him separately, but they mentioned him in some. He was removed from the time in the documentary Candid Confession. Cannibals, a movie at rush hour. Black Dolphin. Sentenced to life and in a cell with an ogre. There are also stories about such cannibals. There is not much information on the internet, but if you like and write that you want to hear them, I will definitely find the case materials and make a full-fledged video about everyone. There are 5 penal colonies in Russia for people convicted for life. But even among them, the Black Dolphin stands apart, because it inspires fear even to hardened criminals. It is located in the city of Soliletsk near Orenburg, and the most terrible criminals are kept here. Nikolaev sleeps well in prison, the food suits him. In total, he has already been in prison for more than 35 years. He does not imagine life on the outside, but he would really like to try. Among the favorite dishes for journalists, he named pea soup and pasta with meat.